So please welcome back to the stage director Shlok Sharma. Okay, so I'm sure there are questions from the audience. We'll just start off with a couple of them. Shlok, so making your first feature is a big decision. Why did you decide to tell this particular story?
I read this in newspaper. There's a I read an article that stay in my mind for the longest time. So I decided to. I thought I should tell a story on that subject. Or this is the subject where a school teacher a student falls for his school teacher and how their things happen.
That was an actual story that you read in a paper. So it was two stories which you brought together. Yeah. And you worked with what has become a sensation of an actor, Nawaz. Back then, he was still making quite a few films. Now he is a very established actor, but also with a lot of young and less experienced actors. So how did you manage to direct them?
Actually, all actors are very natural. I never told him to act. I just tell him the basic scene and scenario, or I just try to get their perspective or their act in the scene. So I never told him to act like this or anything.
So you presented the situation, then you let them.
Yeah, whatever I wrote the script, I just gave the situation, and I asked him to if you are Sandhya or Sham, how you behave.
Got it. And so you just told us that you shot the film in 16 days, which is insane. Why was that? Was that the original plan? Did it change?
Actually, it's not intentionally. I don't want to do it again. It just happened. This film schedule has 28 days. Then after some cut down to 20 days, and then we decided to do it in 18 days. Then finally I did it in 16 days. I'm not proud of it. I'm just if I made my second film, I'd love to do it because it's a difficult film to. It's difficult for me also to emote. Shweta is here.
Got it. So never again. 16 days. Got it. And do you want to tell us about how you put the casting together?
I made a short film called Sujata. Shweta has a. You want to say?
Yes.
So Shlok had directed. In fact, I had ED'd on a film that was produced by Siddiqui. So that's how I met all the directors that Siddiqui was working with. Shlok saw me, and then he wanted me to play a small part in the film that we were directing at that point. I did that short film, and I think Shlok liked my work, which is why he was then planning his feature, and then he asked me to be a part of it. So when I read the script and I got to know about the character, I was very excited and happy, and I just knew that I had a great part, even though that part was 12 years younger than my real age.
And we also have Guneet Monga. Guneet, do you want to join us? the producer of Haraamkhor. And we do have a question for Guneet actually, and maybe Shlok can chime in. But what was the biggest challenge in making this film, and also what was the easiest part? You do the biggest challenge. He did movies.
So we crowdfunded the film and we crowdsourced the money through Facebook. So it's not crowdfunded. It is a social media funding and crowd investment. So partners came on board, and it is a micro budget film. So because there is a certain reality that we wanted to portray, there is a certain sensitivity to the subject, and because we wanted to bring this world out and really put it out there for us to think that stories like this actually happen. So it's not easy when usually cinema is used as an escapist medium. So it was very tough to answer those questions. That why do you want to do this? Why can't you do something else? You have actors, you have access. Shlok has an incredible record of all the short films that he's made. But that was our biggest challenge on why we want to do this. Why do we choose to go on this path? And not that it's been easy. We stuck to it. So then we funded it. So we funded it differently so that there is no pressure and those questions can go away from us. And then I think we worked on the edit, and it has been a long road, and it has been a long road only because there is a vision that Shlok had, and he really wanted to just say the truth, and it's hard to put it on screen, and so.
Was there an easy part in all of this? Was there something that was just, it clicked, everything clicked, and it was just an easy ride? Or it was all difficult to get to this point?
So, I think
Easy, actually,
What's easy?
60 days. Let's open it up to the audience. If you have a question, go ahead, raise your hand and speak loud. I'll try to repeat the question. Go ahead.
First of all, congratulations on finishing your first film. I have two questions. First is, where does this take place in MP?
yeah.
Where does it take place? Which city, which village?
I never thought about it
Okay.
because my story, I thought my story doesn't need a area or a place because it's happening everywhere.
Yeah,
So-
that's true. Yeah.
So I don't think so. I think it's a very emotion based. I never thought about it actually.
That's good. I mean, I saw, because I'm from MP, and I saw like different things like Madhya Pradesh Parivahan Nigam and all that there. So that's fine. Anyway, second question for you as a director: why did you use handheld as your medium to tell the story?
Because it's easy to if you have to complete a film in 16 days, you have to do it. But if my DOP gives you the best answer, mostly because it look real. The film looks real.
Look, I hope you're not nervous anymore. Because take a bow, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
And you too, what a fantastic job you have done. And Guneet, what can I say?
Thank you.
But the question I have for you is, it's a very interesting story because I was in the heads of all the four characters. So I just want to know a little bit about your writing process. How did you write so that you manage to give each of them their own voice, and there's no one protagonist here. It's kind of all four of them have kind of equal space. So I'm just interested how in your writing and in your editing you manage to keep that.
I'm talking about this film. I wrote more scripts. Took me 6 months. This script took me 3 days. 12 days of pre-production and 16 days of shoot. So actually, I never thought about it. How I just go with the flow. Yeah, flow with the
Go with flow. 3 days to write the script, 16 days to shoot it, handheld camera. There you go. Yes, go ahead.
First of all, Guneet, welcome back to Los Angeles. Being with 2 years ago. What was your budget for this film, and did you finish it?
Yeah, so I think we are all pretty trained to be in budget, and
You are.
yeah, we all are. I think the whole gang is pretty trained to be in budget. All of us who are in the system of making the independent films back home, and we really like pushing through our way to actually make this. So the budget of this was $300,000. Yeah, and we finished it under. But yes, it's not been easy. It's not been ideal. It just needed to be done, and it needed to be done in a way that it is not pressurizing anyone. We don't have any government grants. We don't have any subsidies. We are taxed further on. So the structure there is pretty much equity. So that's why we broke that, and we crowdsourced the money so that the pressure is not on an investor. And the idea was to tell a story with a bunch of people who believe in, pushing the envelope and are sensitive towards reality.
Yes, go ahead.
My question is to Shweta. First of all, phenomenal job quality. This was a very movie film to be actually. So you played someone who is 12 years younger than you were at the time?
Yes, it was younger.
So did you do something special to be in that space? Because you were utterly convincing.
Thank you so much.
Did you prepare, or what did you have to do to get in that mind space of such a young age?
Did everyone hear this question?
No.
So it's the question for Shweta, the fact that she played a character 12 years younger. What was her process, and how was she able to accomplish that and get into the mindset of someone who was 12 years younger than she was?
So we actually met a lot of girls who were falling in love for the first time, and teenagers. Also, I did a lot of reading up, and in fact, we spoke to a few girls who were now in their 20s and 30s, but who had fallen for the teachers. And none of the stories had any happy ending. So there was a lot of, and obviously they didn't want to be named and stuff. But we spoke to, and that really helps when you talk to real people and when you get to know about their experiences. Also, before the film, we did a 5-day workshop. And in that workshop, it was Timala, the actor who plays Nawaz Bhai's wife, Nawaz Bhai himself, and I. And we just got to know each other. And we just used to talk. And there is so much that came out from those 5 days that was used during the film for our characters, for our relationships. So even when we were filming, like our scenes that, the women scene where we, so that was on the first day. And as any actor would go, because this was my first film, so I had no clue how films are shot. So Shlok had assured that that scene will happen way later when you're more comfortable. And then and then he told me we are shooting that on day one. And I was like, what? Oh my god, how do we do that? Then we just got so comfortable as actors, and I think it's very important to trust each other. So those 5 days really helped, because then I left me and whatever my age was, and I started thinking and being Sandhya, which is a character.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, first of all, I want to
And we have been dealing with this very murky issue of relationship between teacher and student, even in college, the damage with cinema, and the reality is that the girls are convinced they are the ones falling in love without realizing that there is an element of somatic rape that is taking place, and certainly symbolic violence. So I have two questions. The first one is also for the producer. Very nice that you produced this. I know that you posted recently something on the email, on your Facebook page, so I know you're concerned with that. What is going to be, you think, the impact of such a movie in India right now, considering that there is a whole discussion? And my second question is for the director. It's a pure curiosity. In the original story, was there an ending like the one we saw with a double murder, or what was the actual ending?
No, actually not. They both are different stories. The climax, I know a person. He has 2 kids, and they are. I can tell you the short story. A person, he's a farmer. He has 2 kids. They are at their farm, and the elder one is abusing his father, or he's always like he's talk badly to his father. So one day the elder one pushes father, and the father told younger one to "Arey साले को मारना." So he just kill him, and he literally took the rock and kill his elder brother, 2-year elder brother. And the rage, I took the rage from where you can't think it can be happen in such time. He never thought. I don't think so. They never thought they will not go to their houses in few hours. So.
And to answer your question, so we have lived with the film, and it's actually something that I wanted to say that this is the first time we have seen the film on a big screen. So it is also, while thank you for sharing this experience with us, it is also very, very disturbing, and it is very tough, and it is not easy. And we are very aware of it, and that's because we went on a very tough journey of saying the reality, and we have been thinking a lot about how we're going to put it out in India, and our entire campaign, and we're also going to say that we are telling the truth, and it's not easy for us, not that we like doing this, but we went on a journey to tell you that this is what happens in lots of parts of the country. So either we run away from it or we face it, but this is the truth. So we can sugarcoat it and see it in other happy endings, but there is this happening, and we are very mindful of the fact that we have gone on a very tough road. So the idea is to add a certain context of this at the start of the movie, when the India release happens, and for all our campaign to be that this is taken from a newspaper story, and this is reality. So it's very hard. It's very hard for even us, and it's very, very hard to be. It impacts the story. So yeah.
You're still actively looking for a distributor in India, or is that?
I think for a few years I've been looking for a distributor.
We have time for one last
Can I
question,
ask a question?
actually. You have a quick one?
See, you have this scene where the 2 kids are, making the mayhem in the house, right? So my question is, when the kids are making a mayhem in the house and having fun in their teacher's house,
what is the significance of the scene in your perspective? You know, what place does it have in the whole story when, you know, looking at bigger picture?
In the age of 10 or 12, you are not focused so much. So whenever we saw the small kid, always telling him to do to the elder monkey, do this or do that. So he just follow the small kid, and as in the age of 10 or 12, we are not too focused. So he might be the elder one who is in love with the girl, who might be interested in making destroying his teacher house for the certain time. So for that time.
Can I ask?
Yes.
First of all, I would like to congratulate you, Shlok. Wonderful work. I think you have great artistic sensibilities, and I think you're going to go very far.
Thank you.
First, this. And number two, I wanted to know actually the significance of the wind solar thing in your movie, because whenever some important scenes happened, you showed it. So I was thinking that what are you trying to correlate, or what are you trying to project from it? What was your interest in showing that?
The question is about the wind and solar elements in the film, and that was intentional.
Basically, I've been to one place where I saw windmill, and I really like it. And signification of windmill. Actually, I really don't know. My editor told me to put it.
I want to answer this also. Shlok has,
Do you have an obsession with it?
No, I want to answer this because, you know, we went on this journey of an impulsive rage to actually make this film. And there's been very little logic for us to sit here and justify and say this was thought through. So this has been a journey on the road as we are discovering ourselves, and we've worked, while Shlok has been saying that it's 16 days of shoot and impromptu things have happened, but it did take a year and a half to edit and put it together, because after that it was a journey which was very, very hard, which was that this is what we've made and where do we go from here. Anyways, coming to your point, when he chose to shoot in the city that he chose, he told me, today maybe not answering that, but he told me that, you know, India has grown so differently that there are small towns which have barren lands for an hour and then one mall, you know, and then barren land for another, and small houses. It's like money has come, it's there, the farmers have made more money to sell their lands to the builders. Also, I think the windmills also describes that there is so much energy being produced there's so much money being generated there, there's employment there. But having said that, the thought process is still very backward, and that's what reflects the film, and that's the journey that we went on. So while that kind of fascinated me when I went on the set, and when he initially started that, he said the idea is that you just see this random mall and nothing for 50 kilometers, and then one more mall, you know, like what's going on? So yeah, so that's and also just coming to the distribution listing. So there has been a sense of a couple of years of distribution, trying to understand India distribution and making some content which is non-traditional. And so the distribution in India is very traditional, and it bottlenecked the whole weekly system, and it's not the way how Lunchbox was released in US, which went on for 27 weeks. But in India, it's literally just 1 week. But with Haraamkhor, especially, we have some destructive plans, and they will soon follow. And thank you again to IFLA, because then now we're on the road. Before this, we were all in our office, literally under the cover. But now we're on the road. We're out there, and yeah, thank you.
Well, thank you for letting us be part of your journey. Thank you, and we hope to see you